I think we're going to have to get somebody to give you some lessons on how to be enthusiastic. And Bobby's introduction was really good. It was exactly the way I wrote it. So, anyway, and David, thank you for welcoming us to your campus. Where are you? David, someplace or other. There we are. Thank you all for coming out on a Saturday. I didn't ask you to come during football season.
Smart man.
And I'm really honored to be at such a historic institution. There's so many heroes of American history that started their journey right here. Rosa Parks, and I went to see her statue before. Fred Gray, Ralph Abernathy, Fred Shuttleworth, and F.D. Reese, to name a few. We've made big strides in my lifetime, but as we all know, we still have an awful long way to go, and that's what I want to talk about today. As someone who has been very lucky in life, I often say to myself that my story would not have been possible in America if it wasn't for what a great country we have. Yeah. But I also know that my story would have turned out very differently if I had been black. And that many more black Americans of my generation would have ended up with far more wealth had they been white. That's just a fact of life, and we can't walk away from it. We have to do something about it. Just think about this. If we could eliminate the racial gap in wealth, we would add something like $1.5 trillion to the American economy. Everyone would benefit. So the question is, what are we waiting for? Whether they do that or they don't do that. I know something about creating wealth and creating jobs. I did it in business. I have a company that I started from scratch. It was just me the first day, 4 people the second day. Today it's 20,000 people around the world. When I was mayor, I also helped lead the nation in job creation for 12 years. And I hope to have a chance to do it as president. Plan that we call the Greenwood Initiative, named after the prosperous black community in Tulsa, Alabama, that was destroyed by a white mob one night in 1921. They burnt the town to the ground and killed 200 black Americans. And it was one of the ugliest episodes in our nation's history, but few textbooks ever teach it. I'm a history buff. I've read every book about America, maybe, but I'd never heard of it until I was in Tulsa about 3 months ago. And I believe that we have to confront that history head on, not only about teaching it in our schools, but also working to eliminate the racial wealth gap that still plagues this country. The Greenwood Initiative that I announced has 3 big goals. One is to increase black home ownership by 1 million homes, doubling the number of black-owned businesses, and tripling the number of families the wealth of black families, so that we can make a big dent in the racial wealth gap. You won't believe this, but the average black family has 1/10 the wealth of the average white family in this country. Just think about that, 90% less. The ways we're going to do it is we're going to invest in more HBCU schools like this one. Resources they need. And while only 10% of black students attend HBCU schools, listen to this. Their graduates, those 10%, make up some 40% of all black teachers, 60% of all black engineers, and 70% of all black dentists, doctors, and over 80% of black judges. So they really are, it's an incredible record, and they really are turning out people who contribute to society. And while President Trump promised support to HBCU schools, he broke that promise like virtually every other promise he's ever made. He did it right away. I've been helping more students afford college for years, and as president, I can just guarantee you, I will make sure that HBCU schools have the resources not just to survive, but to grow. Because I believe the solution to poverty is education, number one.
Yes.
We just have to do this. We also incidentally have to provide support for more medical schools at HBCU schools. I don't have to tell you that maternal mortality is a crisis in this country, and it's especially deadly for black women. And Alabama has borne the brunt of this crisis. But the data shows that we can make some progress on this issue as long as we invest in the solutions women need. For instance, the data shows that greater diversity among physicians helps improve outcomes for people of color. And so helping more black and Latino young people become doctors will be an especially important priority for me. It's the only ways we're going to get from this terrible situation where we are now to where we should be.